Happy Thursday. Thanks for clicking to WYTV.com. I'm meteorologist Ryan Halicki. Watching a cold front approach the region here as we go through the latter part of your Thursday and continuing into your Friday. This has fired off some showers and thunderstorms, and we'll see that risk through the late evening ramping up as this approaches. Looking at futurecasts, potential there, especially northern Trumbull and Mercer counties, for some storms that are coming in across the lake early evening. I'm watching a cluster that may graze Columbiana County as well, but everybody has the chance of seeing a little rainfall this evening. Overnight, that does turn a bit more isolated. Doesn't mean we won't have additional storms that fire, but the risk a little lower overnight, then ramping up again on your Friday. So as far as the severe outlook is concerned, well, for this evening, the risk is fairly low, but you do see we continue to have that nosing in that lowest threat level, a level 1 of 5 for an isolated gusty storm possible as we go through the late evening today. Tomorrow, well, it's the entire region that has a chance at seeing a gusty storm. I expect them to be isolated in number, but the possibility there. So that's something we'll be watching for over the next 24 hours. I think the greater threat is actually going to be the potential for localized flooding. What I want to show you here is a model depiction of where the best moisture is for heavy rainfall, and that's shown here in these red shades. You can see the legend up here. The blues and the greens, that's showing a lighter or a lower potential there, but the reds and oranges indicate that high risk for pockets of very heavy rainfall. And you notice that working through the area as this low pressure system approaches into our Saturday before we get slightly drier air in place into the latter part of our Saturday, which is going to start a little bit of a drying trend. So we're going to have to keep an eye out for localized flooding as we go through the next about 48 hours or so. You could see that chance for a few storms this evening. Overnight tries to quiet down a bit. Still could be a stray downpour or a rumble of thunder through the night, but a lower risk as we go into the late part of your overnight. By Friday morning, well, we're going to start watching for rain and storms firing off as we get into the mid to late morning time frame, and then continuing the rest of the day. That risk for rounds of downpours, pockets of heavy rain, isolated gusty storm, and into the evening we'll continue to see that ramping up where we could see a batch of some heavy rain across the entire viewing area. And again, storms moving over the same areas repeatedly, any of these will be able to produce heavy rain. Our ground is quite saturated. It would not take a lot to cause a little bit of flooding. So we'll keep an eye on that risk through your Friday evening. Continuing Friday night, additional rounds of some heavy rain. And by Saturday morning, we'll still have the potential for some heavy rain, some storms early on in the day. And I'm watching that cold front that's going to approach. I expect to see some showers out ahead of that, a storm or two possible as well. Notice the temperatures, they're not quite as warm, and you still see very hit or miss variety showers into the afternoon. That risk will linger through the afternoon and evening, but as that cooler and drier air starts settling in, especially as we get closer to sunset, we'll start seeing those clouds trying to break up a bit, temperatures cooling a bit, and our rain chances coming down. So a little active here going through your Friday into early Saturday. Downpours, a high risk there. Localized flooding also elevated for us. Humid conditions will persist until we get that cold front through Saturday, and a chance there for an isolated gusty storm. 67 our low tonight. That chance for rain and storms is a little greater early on. Isolated in the morning, but starting to ramp up by late morning, and then we'll see these rounds of downpours and thunderstorms throughout your Friday with 82 degrees, that high temperature. A lot more clouds around for your Friday, and continuing into Saturday, it won't be quite as warm, and I do expect some thunderstorms at least the first part of your Saturday. Second half, we start to see that threat waning for us. I won't rule out a stray sprinkle on Sunday. We should have drier air that's really going to help us out there, and the trend is for more drier conditions going into next week. Now you see that low chance here Tuesday and Wednesday. There's going to be a little bit of a cold front that comes through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and that may bring a narrow line of some showers and storms, mostly overnight, but a few of those could linger early Wednesday. You see that drop in temperatures, not quite as warm as Tuesday on Wednesday. We're jumping back to the mid 80s Tuesday, near 80 Wednesday, and also near 80 with a chance for additional rain and storms on Thursday.